In the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll bring you the microphone and state your name and affiliation. We'll begin with Paul.
Hi, Mauricio.
Hello.
I know over the last few months, year, you've been trying to build belief in this group. You talk about staying in reality but doing the impossible. There's no easy opponents in a World Cup, but when you look at the path now, the impossible feels possible. And it feels like fans can get excited and think this team has the possibility to do something. Do you feel that excitement? Do you feel like the fans should look at this and say, yes, believe in us, believe now that we can be different,
yes,
we can do something more?
Yes, it's, I think it's, belief in soccer is everything. It's everything because without belief you can have talent, you can have very good strategic, but on the end, if you don't have the belief and the spirit to fight, because that is emotional thing that you need to connect with this energy that put you in the possibility to express your talent. If not, it's difficult. I think I cannot lie. The last few games, the last few windows, I think the team was capable to show a very good signal to the fans, to attract, to say, come on, guys, you need to support us. That is how we feel, how we are, that we need your energy, your support. And I think the fans are there in behind to the team. And I think it's going to be exciting because I think we are building a very good relationship. I think we start to show that we are USA, that is the culture here, about to win, about to fight and never give up. And I think that is why we start to be a little bit more happy and now being focused in trying to evolve in different areas, no? Technical, tactical, fitness. I think start to talk what we like to talk is about soccer. It's about to talk about being more or better than the opponent in different aspects on the pitch. I think when our standards are where we are now, we can evolve very, very quick.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer, continuing about the public, the fans. It happens sometimes in America, and not just in football, in the Olympics and many sports. All of a sudden, in the World Cup year, now everybody starts watching. Maybe they weren't always before. And pressure comes from that, and maybe it's good pressure. Do you think it's good pressure in that way to have?
I think it's good pressure. Put the pressure in the competition and to compete. And the expectation is good because put the good stress in your body. Again, I don't want to be, how I can say, no negative, but again, we need to be careful the message that we are going to send, because every time that we are here talking, the players are listening. And the important thing is to put pressure and to try to be better, us. That is the challenge. It's not to put pressure to say, oh, we need to win, or we should win, or we should be better. No. It's to put pressure. The good pressure is about to be better us. The challenge is be better today than tomorrow, and after tomorrow. And in 6 months, be a better team than today. That is the good pressure. It's not the pressure of to put expectative and to say, should win this group because the opponent la li lulu lulu la la la. No, because if not, it's a big wrong mindset. Because I think we need to be very, very intelligent in the message. Because I think the motivation is to play with our share in front of our fans and perform. And for sure, if we perform, because we have talented player, we will be close to win, and that is going to be the most important thing from here to start the World Cup.
Atrás, Ryan.
Thank you. Ryan Tollins from Goal. Mauricio, as a coach, there are so many things you can control. You can make a substitution or change a tactic or give an instruction. You could change things, but today's one of those days that's unique in that you can't. You are like everyone else watching and seeing Shaquille O'Neal grab a ball and learning just like the rest of us. So watching today and going through this experience today, what was that like, not as Mauricio the coach, but Mauricio the person who's going through this experience like everyone else is?
First of all, thank you because you are so nice with me, because all the things that you say that I can control, sometimes we cannot control. I cannot control. But I think today was nice, no, to live the experience, to be part of this amazing world. I think was amazing. The Mr. President, our president, that was amazing. Then, of course, the president of the FIFA and all the organization, and was amazing few days here in DC, in Washington DC. I wanted to say thank you to all the people, the people that work in the government, that made possible to be safe, the organization of FIFA, the organization of USA, the Federation of the National Team. I think everyone that was involved was amazing, make very easy our being here and enjoying about that is the massive event in the world. And yes, how I live the experience is with happiness, because it's unique moment. And then seeing what the team we are going to face in the World Cup, but with zero expectation, because I think what today looks in some way in 6 months can change, because that is the truth. For us the same. And I think, yes, I am so happy for be part of this event, and we really enjoy about the moment.
Cuarta fila a la izquierda.
Profesor Pochettino, ¿cómo está? Gusto saludarlo. Rafael Crisóstomo de Full Deportes USA. Un poco voy a retroceder al pasado. Hace más de un año usted llegó y tuve la oportunidad de estar en la conferencia y usted dijo una palabra clave: creer en sí mismo, y que iba a iniciar un programa de acercarse a los jugadores para lograr eso. He visto con satisfacción que la selección de Estados Unidos pues está arrasando en los últimos 4 partidos. Estuve en el partido frente a Uruguay y vi a una formidable selección con gente joven. Pero hoy, y me gustaría su perspectiva, ya es el Mundial. Tiene a Paraguay, tiene a Australia, Kosovo un poco atrás de Europa. Ya usted con esa experiencia europea, me gustaría que nos diga con qué perspectiva ahora entra a nueva etapa en lo que es el Mundial. Gracias.
Sí, la perspectiva es el análisis, de seguir el análisis exhaustivo de los rivales que vamos a poder encontrarnos, en este caso de los 4 posibles europeos, más la continuidad, porque lo hemos hecho, tanto Paraguay como Australia, que hemos jugado hace poco, seguir teniendo los updates que hacemos semanalmente, mensualmente. En la perspectiva que tenemos es seguir mejorando, seguir siendo muy estrictos en el programa y en el proceso de desarrollo de lo que queremos, tanto individualmente como colectivamente, y donde los niveles en los que queremos llegar. Y esa es la perspectiva con que nos tomamos este tiempo de acá a marzo, en evaluación, pero también en marzo teniendo una oportunidad de jugar contra 2 selecciones muy potentes como Portugal y Bélgica, que nos van a dar también la realidad de dónde estamos y donde tenemos que tomarlos como si ya fueran partidos de la Copa del Mundo. Creo que ese estrés competitivo y para llegar al Mundial en las mejores condiciones mentales, psicológicas, anímicas, como queramos llamarlo, a nivel energético, más allá de la preparación táctica o física. Yo creo que son partidos en los cuales tenemos que ponernos en situación de generar mucho estrés para que luego el Mundial sea ese estrés que es intrínseco porque es el Mundial y porque no es lo mismo, ¿no? Porque cuando suena, ¿no?, el himno del Mundial y cuando ya eso, porque como mi experiencia yo la tengo y la sé, ese estrés sea algo reconocido para el jugador de nuestra selección y que no sea algo que le sorprenda, ¿no? Entonces eso es algo que queremos trabajar para que el Mundial, cuando llegue ese estrés competitivo, seamos capaces de manejarlo de la mejor manera.
Segunda fila. Doug?
Hi, Mauricio.
Hello.
I know the focus, you said this earlier, the focus over the next 6 months is on your team, improving your team. But now that you know at least two of your opponents, like, what does that look like in terms of scouting them, the work you have to do? And is it at all difficult that you don't know yet who the third opponent is?
Yes, the problem is rather to have 3 teams to scout, we have 2 plus 4. No, because we need to scout the 4. Now from here to March, we are going to, to amplify. Yes, the numbers of team that we need to observe, because now we have, of course, Australia and Paraguay, but we need to add another 4 teams. And be prepared, all the people in the analysts, and to start to work now, because we cannot wait until March and then start to work. No, we need to be ready from now.
Segunda fila, a la izquierda.
Profe, you were just speaking about scouting. Will you attend the playoff matches, or how many members of your staff will you send, and how deep into that can you go? And also, do you consider having played Australia and Paraguay recently an advantage, or are there extra tricky wrinkles that are involved now?
For me, is these 2 games are going to be a good reference for us to start to scout and to see and analyze the 2 teams. But I think the reality is that the circumstances are going to change, and that is why it's going to be complete different games, and maybe with different roster or different player or starting 11. And sometimes, it's still 6 months. Teams can change, system can apply different system. I think we need to be aware about that. That is why it will be a good reference for us, but also for them. But I think we need to be very focused. Things can change, I don't believe that will be a good advantage or disadvantage. I think only is a reference, but with no effect in the future. It's not going to be a decisive or important effect that is going to, because we played a few months ago, it's going to have an effect in the future.
The playoff matches?
Sorry?
Will you attend the playoff matches?
Of course, we are going to watch, but I think we are going to be involved in 2 games in March. That is going to be in the same time, the playoff. And that is why we are thinking to send our people there, or through TV. That today is like if you are in live, because through TV sometimes you watch better the games through TV than when you are in the place.
Tercera fila.
When you look and think about what success would be in the tournament,
Win the World Cup.
no, in what will cause success in the tournament for the players, is it getting the right desire, concentration, reaction time?
Yeah, I don't.
What do the players need to do to be able to win the World Cup? How the preparation, their mentality,
Yes.
ability.
Well, I think first of all, being humble. Let us to manage them. Don't think too much. and fight and follow the rules. And if we are capable to have 26 players on the roster, aligned with the same way to think, being humble, putting always the interest of the team before your interest. I think it's so simple. It's so simple thing, but so difficult to get from them. Plenty of things that today make us to think a little bit how exciting it is when you see, like today, the clips, no, from the different World Cups, when the team score, or when the teams lift the trophy, the World Cup. How much you, us, will pay to be there, no, and live that experience, to live this trophy. And that is about to translate the idea is to think that never is enough. We need to always try to be better, but being humble, but being no egoist, being good teammate, play for the team, make the right effort in the right moment. That is why I was watching Miracle, no, and recommendation from the other day I told in the summit in New York, and I listened from the coach, you know, when he said, we don't need the best player, we need the right players to make a team a strong team, and that is what we want to provide, you know, to this national team, the right player to build a powerful team with the possibility to fight with any team in the world. Good and right are completely different. And what I explain is to be the right or to be only good player. And that what we need, right players. If we have all the talented players that are right player to play, that is going to be powerful, more powerful. But if not, only good players, but are not right, that is not an individual, it's a collective. And if we don't have this synergy and that energy in between 26 players, we can win one game, but on the end, in a competition like is the World Cup, it's impossible. That is why that is our responsibility. And it's, when we talk about legacy, people ask me, which is the legacy? Is to win the World Cup, is to this, is to that. I think it's that, not to try, not to settle this idea that the national team need the right players, not the best players, the right players for the national team. And we'll see if we are capable to translate that idea to our player. ¿No?
Al mismo lugar.
Hola Mauricio, Sandri con Backfield. Este mundial es diferente al último y a la Copa América también porque hay más equipos en donde hay algunos equipos, la mayoría, sí, 8 de los 12 que terminan terceros y van a avanzar todavía. Teniendo eso en cuenta, ¿crees que algunos equipos en el grupo puedan venir y jueguen menos fútbol, más defensivos, y ustedes van a pensar en eso en la preparación y en el plantel para el grupo? Gracias.
No lo sé lo que pasará en 6 meses. Si vemos el fútbol hoy en día, está claro que vemos Italia, muy táctico, vemos la Premier, mucha estrategia, balón parado. Es un poco un círculo, ¿no? Donde me acuerdo que cuando llegamos a la Premier nosotros, Southampton, hace ya muchos años, había algún equipo que jugaba, ¿no? Long through in, ¿no? Saque de banda largo, que se basaba su juego en la estrategia. Es verdad que hoy se ve un fútbol mucho más de comenzar, parar. Hubo una época donde los equipos, los entrenadores, ¿no? Era mucho más capacidad rápida, ¿no? De recomenzar el juego rápido, jugar siempre por el césped, por abajo. Hoy en día parece que el balón vuela un poco más. Es muy difícil saber. Nuestra propuesta como cuerpo técnico es tener un equilibrio, ese equilibrio donde tú puedas tener diferentes registros en el juego, donde cuál es nuestra filosofía bien adaptada a lo que nosotros sentimos en el juego, pero después tener alternativas a diferentes situaciones para llegar. Pero sí, puede ser, estoy de acuerdo contigo, que puede ser alguna de las estrategias, a lo mejor de equipos, de trabajar mucho más en esa dirección que tú me decías.
Front row to your right.
Thank you. Hey, Mauricio, Donald Wine, Stars and Stripes FC. I know the focus is on the group stage right now, but FIFA has done a draw for all 48 teams in the 6 that'll be coming in later. Did you allow yourself to kind of think beyond the group stage and potential opponents that you might see on your way to a World Cup?
We were talking in the car, in the way that from the center, Kennedy Center to here, and we need to be focused in the group stage. We cannot think more than this. We cannot spend energy, in after. Our full energy now in what we are going to do and our first game need to be. And after the first, the second, and the third. And be sure that we go through to the next stage. I think because it's true that if you are Argentina and you are maybe today the best team and you are the last winner of the World Cup, maybe you can think a little bit to say, okay, that is the group stage. After, what is going to happen after? And maybe you allowed yourself to think. But with USA, we need to. Our first game is the final of the World Cup, and the second need to be the final of the World Cup, and the third too. We need to only to think that after the first game is not another opportunity. That is why that mentality that we want to build, that mindset that we were talking before, that we need to settle and be strong in this.
Aquí.
Profe, gracias por tu tiempo. Gerardo López, Cultura Sports. Tú fuiste parte de un equipo de Copa Mundial 2002 con Argentina. You were part of a World Cup team in 2002, 25 years ago. The World Cup is a different animal. What is your message for your players in the United States? ¿Cuál es tu mensaje para tus jugadores en Estados Unidos de tu experiencia?
¿En español? Español.
Español. ¿Cuál es tu mensaje para tus jugadores teniendo esa experiencia de la Copa Mundial?
Bueno, casi todos los mensajes eran para mis jugadores. Nearly all the messages were for my players. Yo creo que lo más importante es que la experiencia tiene que ser un punto donde tú puedas aprender y si tienes la humildad para aprender, porque la experiencia solamente como experiencia no te otorga nada si no tienes la capacidad de ver las cosas, analizarlas y que eso sea un valor importante en tus actos futuros, ¿no? Lo que puedo decirles a los jugadores es que cuando era jugador de la selección durante 5 años, jugando y no perdiendo ningún partido, y siendo el mejor equipo del mundo, llegamos clasificados en la FIFA, creo que éramos, o si no éramos los primeros, éramos los segundos, pero creo que éramos los primeros. Y cómo importante es, y cuando hablábamos antes que me decíamos que se podía controlar cosas, hay cosas que no se pueden controlar. Hay cosas que no se pueden porque no podemos prever en 6 meses qué jugadores están en la mejor forma, pueden estar lesionados, no lesionados. Y creo que en ese Mundial Argentina llegó no en la mejor forma y eso es porque me parece que... No, eso es el porqué de quedamos afuera, ¿no? Rápidamente, en la primera de cambio, ¿no? En el grupo, que no pasamos el grupo. Por eso digo que... cuando hay que ser humildes, ¿no? Y hay dejarse entrenar, ¿no? A los jugadores tienen que escuchar, porque al final nosotros estamos al mando, dirigiendo, ¿no? Liderando un grupo es porque tenemos la capacidad, porque no es que estamos aquí porque pasamos por la calle y dijeron, bueno, tienen que estar estas personas. Y creo que eso siempre, hablando del beneficio del jugador y otorgándole la posibilidad de sobre todo, tener una estrategia para llegar al final de la temporada, un final de temporada que puede ser difícil, porque los jugadores compiten por cosas importantes en sus clubes. Yo creo que esa tensión, yo creo que es importante tener la estrategia como nosotros podemos, ¿no?, proveerles, siempre y cuando siendo un apoyo, ¿no?, con los clubes para que los jugadores lleguen de la mejor manera, ¿no?, rindiendo en sus clubes, pero también con la posibilidad de estar en la mejor forma posible para el Mundial. Y yo creo que eso es el mensaje, ¿no?, que estamos aquí como cuerpo técnico con tremenda experiencia y con mucha capacidad, y yo creo que eso es algo que parte mucho del jugador, porque al final hay jugadores que dicen conocerse, pero al final creo que al final no es tan así, ¿no?, porque al final el jugador tiene que estar centrado en lo que tiene que hacer, en que es rendir, pero después dejar a los profesionales que manejen, ¿no?, su entrenamiento, sus métodos, los métodos de trabajo, las cargas mayores, menores, cuándo, en qué momento. Entonces eso, cuando un jugador quiere manejarse así solo, comienzan los problemas, porque al final se desengancha de un grupo, se desengancha de una estrategia colectiva, y al final a veces los finales no son tan felices. Por eso hablo de la humildad, que es lo más importante en cada jugador para llegar a estar de la mejor manera, para estar conectado con el equipo, ¿no?
2 more questions? Segunda fila.
Hi, Mauricio. Pradeep Khatri, CBS Sports. I know you don't know the third opponent yet, but it's possible in the group stage that you'd play 3 teams you already played over the last 6 months, and it feels like the team has made a lot of progress over that last 6 months too. What are some of the positives you've taken away from, sure, the games that you played against your future opponents in the World Cup, but just generally over those last 6 months?
I tried to explain what I explained before. I think it's going to be we are going to play in different contexts, different circumstances, and of course it's going to be, the timeline is different. And it's going to be the same starting 11, it's going to be the same roster. We are going to arrive with the same confidence or, form. That is why. The good thing that we compete against Paraguay and again Paraguay and Australia in a very good way. Again, very good teams, and of course is Turkey. Can be, but it's another 3 that are going to challenge Turkey too. But I think the possibility is 25% for each. But I think is good the reference, because we felt, or we are going to feel, that we can beat them. But at the same time, when you beat someone and you hurt someone, they are waiting for you, because say, okay, but now we will see. When it's going to be serious, it's going to be the World Cup. That is why. Caution. We need to be caution. If we keep improving and challenge ourselves and being in the place that we want to be, for sure we are going to challenge them and we are going to have the possibility to beat them. But if not, it's going to be the risk, because we beat them a few months ago, and after it's going to be 7 or 8 months ago, we already beat. If we play, okay, we are going to beat. I think that is to have respect for yourself. When you have respect for yourself, you respect the opponent, and that is for me the key in being a good team, a team that can compete with the possibility to win big things.
Quarta fila.
Hi, Mauricio. Megan Swanek, Substack. So, as hosts of the World Cup, I think that there are some unique benefits and maybe some challenges that go with being the host of this tournament. Can you touched on this a bit, but can you talk a bit about some of the benefits or advantages you see as being hosts, and also the challenges that go with it?
Yes, the benefit is we already know where we are going to be. The benefit is our country. The benefit is going to be that we are going to, for sure, the support of our fans. The challenge The challenge is going to be the opponent, every time that we are going to play. But I think the challenge is what I told before. Is think into be better. Is think into arrive in the best condition. Prepare in all the areas, because the World Cup is only you have the possibility to be every 4 years the possibility to be involved every 4 years, and sometimes you need lucky to be there. And if we are lucky to be there, or we are lucky to be in the roster, or we are lucky to live this type of experience, I'm going to tell one thing that I explained another day. After my World Cup in 2002, my dream always, when I born and start to be a little bit and grow, my dream always was to play in the World Cup, to play for my national team, Argentina, and being involved in a World Cup. And when, in some moment, I was thinking in my career, I say, oh, it's not going to happen. But then happened, and with 31 years old, I had the possibility to play the World Cup. And disappeared so quick. I don't say that I don't do everything, or I didn't do enough, with the possibility to, to do better, But it's true that through my experience, because after that I suffered a massive depression, because it's like your biggest dream disappear, and then you feel that it's not going to be another possibility to be involved in this. And that for me is the most powerful energy that I want to translate to the people, to the player. That please, do everything that you have. Be humble enough. Try to build with your teammate a good core, a good energy, a good dynamic, because you need to think that the World Cup is only, after 4 years, you are going to have another possibility. But maybe you are not available to play. And this is the most unbelievable event and the most unbelievable feeling that you can have. And it's not effort, because it's your dream, it's how you love and the passion that you show for that game. And that for me is working in fitness, working tactics, working this, working that. Yeah, but we need to feel that that World Cup is going to be an amazing opportunity for show how we are, and then to live an amazing experience. That is what I want to translate to the player, because it's a thing that after I don't want that the player say, oh, sorry, I didn't do my best, I didn't do this, I should do better, no. Put everything. It's today that we need to build, our journey in the World Cup. And that is about to change our mindset, or be stronger in our mindset. Because that is not a normal team for different clubs. That is, we are going to, did you see today? We are going to have a country behind us. We are going to play with the emotion of the people. And people need to feel proud about you, but not because you are going to win, because we cannot promise that we are going to win, but in the way that you are going to defend your shirt, your flag, your culture, your philosophy, how we are, how the people is here, how is the society, how you think in a cultural way. That is, every time that we are going to play a game, the World Cup is this. That is why what I don't want is in the future people regret that they didn't do enough or the best to try to be successful.
Mauricio is on his way to his second consecutive MLS Cup final, so good luck to both Vancouver and Miami.
I'm going to enjoy the better weather there tomorrow.
Thank you to Paula and Aiden for helping us today, and thank you all for joining. Have a good afternoon.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our press conference to discuss the FIFA. For the order of today, we'll start with U.S. men's national team midfielders Tyler Adams and Christian Pulisic. Then at 4:35, we'll switch over to defenders Tim Ream and Chris Richards. And then last but not least, U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino will join us. So we have journalists both in the room here and on the Zoom. I'll be taking questions from both. So if you're on the Zoom, if you could please raise your hand, and we ask that you please state your name and affiliation. So we'll get started right here in the front. And if you could just wait for the microphone.
Thank you. Donald Wine, Stars and Stripes FC. Tyler, thanks for your time today. I wanted to ask about the three teams, or at least the two teams that you've seen most recently, Australia and Paraguay. Now that you know they're in the World Cup group, how does that maybe affect your preparation as a team for those matches?
Yeah, no, I think it's really exciting overall. I wasn't in the past two windows, so I haven't had the opportunity to play against Australia. I played against Paraguay early on in my national team career.
Tyler, just hold on one second. We're having some audio issues in the room. If we can turn up the volume in the room of the Zoom, please.
On my end?
Nope, we're good. It was here in the room, so we're good now.
So I'm good. Good to go. Am I good to go?
Yeah, all good to go, Tyler.
Okay. Anyway, so like I said, didn't have the opportunity to play against Australia, obviously, but had the opportunity to play against Paraguay earlier on in my national team career. But I think it's exciting to be familiar with the opponents that we're going to play against. But I think everyone knows that nothing is like a World Cup game, and having the experience now in Qatar, yeah, we know that teams can bring a completely different profile and opportunity to play.
Someone's got to mute their mic.
Okay, so I'll go. I'll take Paul from The Athletic. We'll take your question next.
Thanks so much, Tyler, for doing this. I guess I think a lot of people are going to say, look, this is an easy group. At the bare minimum, is this a group where you guys look around at each other and say, yeah, we should be able to believe in ourselves to get out of this group, to do something special as everyone's hoped would happen in a home World Cup? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for ourselves, no matter who we drew in the group, we were going to have that belief that we could make a run and do something special. I think just having the draw in general now, the excitement grows and it makes it feel more real. But for this group, the anticipation was obviously a long time coming to play on home soil. And we still have 6 months more to prepare. So like I said, there's no easy game in a World Cup. In fact, I think, some of our hardest games in the previous World Cup were two against the lesser opponents. So I think for us moving forward, we need to continue to prepare in the right way. But it's fun knowing that we've played some of these opponents before.
Right here in front.
Thanks for your time, Charles Bowman, LS Soccer. Could you describe what it was like for you personally, just kind of watching this unfold? And then I also wonder if you could speak on what your memories are of. I don't think you played in those Paraguay and Australia games, but I'm sure you were watching and got a little sense of what those were like. What was your processing of those games?
Yeah, watching the draw was exciting. Like I said, it makes it feel a bit more real now. We kind of know the layout and the blueprint from the previous World Cup, but just watching, Americans on stage and, the president giving speeches and performances, it made it feel like an American event already. And I think we know the expectation of what it's going to be like when we go there. And there's going to be halftime shows and there's going to be performances and there's going to be celebrities and the big draw of, what America brings to sports. But yeah, I think not playing in those previous camps, it was fun to just watch the boys go toe to toe and get some wins. I think the most important thing we're trying to build is a winning culture. And I think we've done that in the past camps.
Right here in front.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hi, Tyler. How much closer does it feel now that a draw is done compared to even, I don't know, 3 hours ago?
I mean, it doesn't, I think the excitement is more, but it doesn't really feel that much closer. I think we still have what, 7 months of our seasons with our clubs, and that's a really long time, and we're probably in the midst of the most chaotic part of the season right now with how many games there are. So, yeah, I think it's raised the excitement for sure, but it's so hard to look that far ahead because so much can happen in that long period of time still.
All right, next question, Andrew Jones.
Always, Andrew Jones of Believe Network. Tyler, just want to ask you in terms of that tremendous goal that you scored for Bournemouth last week, despite the team result. Between that goal and your goal at Nations League against Mexico, which for you did you feel was the more difficult goal that you scored in your career?
I mean, I don't really score goals often, but the one against Mexico was just more important, I think, um, because we won and we won a medal and a trophy. And being with the boys obviously is so special. The one in Bournemouth is good. I want to have an important role with my club every single weekend, and I think that I'm growing into that role more and more with my club. So that was an important moment for me, but the results are obviously more important.
Tyler, when we look at World Cup, Chad Ricardo of Fox 5 DC. Tyler, when we look at World Cup, this is obviously a global event, unlike any other sport that is played. I wonder at what point in life you began dreaming of this moment, at what age, and if you remember that first dream.
I mean, I think every young kid, when you're growing up, you think of, World Cups, and when you're out in the backyard or front yard, kicking the ball around, saying this is the penalty for the World Cup. I mean, at least growing up for me, I never grew up saying like this was, for a Premier League free kick or whatever it was that you were practicing. Everything was the World Cup. Everything was centered about representing your country. And I think that's what makes the U.S. so special is everyone kind of gravitates towards, representing your country and what it means to represent the red, white, and blue. And that's why I always feel this special connection to go and play with the national team any opportunity that we can, because you can't really take those moments for granted. You're not just representing yourself, family, you're representing everyone in the country.
Right, Jeff from ESPN.
Yeah, a question for Christian. You guys have kind of tweaked things tactically a little bit the last few months. Sometimes you played 4 in the back, sometimes 3 in the back. I mean, to what degree do you think that makes it tougher for these teams that have seen you to scout you? I mean, just that you guys have those tactical wrinkles kind of in your bag.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have a few different options, obviously, depending on, opponents, on, yeah, kind of how we want to play, who's available. And I think we've done a good job of that. I think we've shown that we can play a few different ways. So, yeah, for me, I see that as a positive and just makes it tougher for them to, yeah, they're not going to know what to expect.
Tyler, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've shown really well in the past camps the flexibility of the group, a lot of different profiles and guys with different attributes. I think it's important that, we have different ways of playing. I think you saw in the last World Cup, even at moments we had to go to a back 5 to sustain leads or try and get points in certain games, and that's how you have to navigate tournaments. You have to have flexibility.
All right, Doug online.
Thanks. Question for Christian. Thanks for doing this, guys. You obviously don't know your third opponent yet. You know the first 2, but the first game of any World Cup is always so important. With that Paraguay game, how important do you guys think it is to make sure you kick off the World Cup with 3 points in that match?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter who we're playing. I mean, first match of the World Cup, obviously playing in LA. I mean, we're gonna be ready for that game. I think we'll be looking forward to that for a while, and of course, getting 3 points right off the bat like that would be an amazing start for us and just put us in a great position in the group. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that one.
Thank you.
Right here in the front.
Again, thank you guys for doing this. Gerardo Lopez from Cultura Sports. Christian, I'm guessing you're in Italy. Were you able to watch the draw, and what were your thoughts about the whole event?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was exciting. Obviously, a bunch of different you know, great athletes, American athletes, all different figures, and it was I thought it was fun. I thought it was exciting. I knew it was going to take a while before we actually saw who we'd have in our group, and it kind of did. But it was good. The build-up was good, and yeah, I mean, now that we know, I think it's an exciting time.
All right. We'll go to Ronald on Zoom.
Well, hey, thanks, guys. For both Christian and Tyler, what would you consider success for this team in this World Cup? And is your measure of success this time any different than it was in 2022?
Go ahead, Tyler.
I mean, we're obviously going to get this question so often, and I think it's fair to say that the last World Cup we couldn't set a bar or a standard for anything. We didn't know what to expect. We haven't been through the process. We didn't know what it was going to be like. Now looking back on it, I think we have more experienced. We're a lot more mature. We've grown a lot as individuals and as a team. Everyone's going to want us to say winning it is obviously the goal. Like our idea is to win. Like that's the goal. But I think setting the benchmark of the furthest the US team has gone is also realistic. So we want to go and make a run, but again, it's a game by game mentality. There's more games to progress over the next window and right before the World Cup. So yeah, assuming the group is completely healthy and we have a lot of players, that's the most important thing.
And Christian, in your mind?
Yeah, no, I think he said it right. I think it's important to kind of split it into different parts as well. I mean, obviously the first goal is to make it out of the group. We know our opponents, well, two of them at least, and we know we're going to play against, and we have to finish obviously, the top half of that group, and that's our first goal. And then once we get there, it's a knockout tournament, and from there, no matter what round we lose in, we won't be happy. So you want to push as hard as we can, and yeah, we're gonna try to make a good run.
Thank you.
Okay. And we have one right here.
Hey guys, Alex Abnos from The Guardian. Thanks for doing this. I'm curious your view on now that you've played, or you will have played at least two, perhaps all three, depending if Turkey comes out of the playoff. You will have played all of these teams recently within the last year or so by the time you get to the World Cup. Do you think that will impact your preparations? Does it make it maybe easier because you've seen these teams before, or does it maybe make it harder because these teams have also played you guys and are a little bit less surprised than they might have been otherwise? And Christian, then Tyler, please.
I think, yeah, for us, I mean, I think we can go into it with a good feeling. Obviously, we've played against these teams recently, like you said, which is yeah, not always the case. So we know more or less yeah, what they're going to look like, and we know they're tough opponents as well. We're not taking anyone lightly. I think it's they're all going to be tough games, but it's I think it's great that we have that experience. Obviously, they played against us too, so we're on the same boat. But it's cool. It's cool that those kind of friendlies and some of the other ones, yeah, were able to prepare us for some of the teams we're actually going to play.
All right, and we have time for one more question. So Sophie on the Zoom.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I was talking to Alexi Lalas the other day, and he said there's nothing like a World Cup, but there's nothing like a home World Cup. This is an incredible moment for you both. Christian, you've won at the highest level as well in Europe, and you guys have come under a lot of scrutiny from ex-players and the media. Do you think you'll approach this and go into it maybe just enjoying the moment and having more fun? Is that how you're kind of looking towards it versus being the home nation and knowing there's going to be a lot of pressure on you, maybe take on that underdog role? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll start. I think It's a World Cup. There's pressure no matter what. I don't think we see it as bad thing. We'll be criticized, and I think that's normal. But I mean, for me and me and Tyler speak often. We're just looking forward to this. I mean, we've been playing together for so long, since youth soccer, and I mean, being able to play a World Cup in our home country, I mean, you can't ask for anything better. It's what we dreamed of as kids, and just to have the opportunity, I think it is important to go into it with the mentality that we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna try to take in the whole experience, and yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I think if we enjoy it, but obviously we're gonna when it gets down to it, we're gonna be ready to fight. We're gonna give it everything we have.
Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, like Christian said, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's an exciting moment for U.S. soccer and the growth of the game. To see how far the group has come has been really impressive. I think what's exciting is we're gonna have a bunch of new guys that will be in the squad as well. In terms of it might be their first World Cup, and being some of the guys that have had experience with it. It's just important to stay present in the moment, like just enjoy the moment. I think the performances will come, and you'll be at your best when you just enjoy the moment. And there will be friends and family in the stands, and playing on home soil. Of course, there will be pressure, but our job is pressure, so it is what it is.
Thank you both.
Hey, guys. Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer here. You're welcome to take this, I suppose. It's at least 2 rematches of recent games. It could be all 3 by the time the playoffs are done. How much does that affect how you guys start to plan for what's to come next summer?
What, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Today's show.
It's late where you are. Go
on. No, I mean, I think it's been. I think it's good that some of our friendlies have prepared us for potentially our full World Cup draw. So shows U.S. soccer is definitely tuned in. But I think it'll be good. Regardless of who we get for the final spot. I think it'll be good for us to have already played these calibers of teams. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. Like I said, we've played really well against the 2 teams that we've already drawn, and potentially a third. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, I'll piggyback over that. I think everybody will be looking forward to it. With obviously playing the teams that we have a good idea of really what the bare minimum will be to get results. And really, it's going to take even more because like Chris said, they were friendlies while also they weren't very friendly, right? And now you add in the pressure and the the heightened kind of aggression and experience of a World Cup, and they're all finals. They all mean something now, and so everything is going to be ramped up exponentially.
All right, we'll do Michael DeCourcy on the Zoom.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to ask both of you about the Uruguay game. And I mean, you have had a build towards something like that. I wanted to know, I know, Chris, you weren't there. If you could maybe look at that game and say what the team did in that game that can be carried forward, you can continue to build on. What happened in that game that you can carry forward?
Chris, you were asleep, weren't you?
Nah, I was awake for that one. It kept me up with a lot of goals, so that was the good part. But no, I mean, I think from what I could see from the outside looking in, I think it showed, I think it showed kind of the lack of fear that we have for these so-called powerhouses, and on top of that, also showed the togetherness. I think even with the Freeman bus up, you saw like both benches cleared, and that's kind of something that we stressed highly in Gold Cup. Is that we need kind of this aggression. We need to be a team that sticks together in the ups and the downs, but also if somebody wants to get aggressive with us, then we have to be there matching it and going even higher. So I think on top of all of that, I think there was a bit of higher stakes from how it ended with us in Uruguay and Copa. At least from me, that's how I felt. So I was buzzing seeing the boys go in that game and just completely tear them apart. But I think it was the way that they did it. It's kind of Yeah, it's kind of, well, not kind of. It has a lot to do with what Poch and the training staff has wanted us to adopt over the last year or so, and it's this togetherness, but also this no fear mentality, regardless of the opponent.
Yeah, I mean, simply, it just shows belief. I think there was a belief in those guys to go out and play, against what is considered a powerhouse in South America and world football, and the guys went out and absolutely smashed it. They had no fear, no reservations, and just a complete belief in themselves and each other, and they took care of each other out on the field, and it showed with the result the way it went. And I think a hallmark of the teams that are continually looking at ways to improve is looking at even games that you win, and you win well. And there were a lot of disappointed faces in conceding one goal, and I think that was a really cool kind of feeling going in and listening to the halftime. How disappointed we were to concede, but the belief is the biggest thing, and that's something that, like Chris said, Poch has really instilled in the team.
Any questions in the room? Right there.
Hi. For both Tim and Chris, as the draw unfolded, did you think in your minds ahead of time as the possible worst path and best path?
I'll go first. I'll let you stew on that. Honestly, I didn't. I've maintained that, and again, this is something else that Mauricio and his staff have discussed and talked about a lot, is that we have to focus on ourselves. We have to worry about how we are and who we are and what we are, and the connections and the aggressiveness and the intensity and the focus. And at some point, you're gonna have to play some of the best teams, and so do you play them in the group stage? Do you play them in the knockouts? It doesn't really matter, right? And so I wasn't thinking best case scenario, worst case scenario. I think there's no point in wondering, especially when you have 48 teams. You can play a potential 36 no, is it 36 others? Is that it? Yeah, 36 other. I don't know. I think there's 12 groups. Am I right?
Yeah.
Sorry. There's so much math going on. Yeah, so that you could potentially play 36 other teams because you can't play your own pot. So there was really no point in sitting there and hoping or praying or wanting to avoid anybody. It was okay. You're going to get who you're going to get, and once you know it's time to get down to business and really prepare and know who you're going to face.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what Tim said. If you wanna be the best, you got to beat the best. So regardless, we would have had to have played some tough countries. I think we got a really good draw, regardless of who we got. But I think that there was really no easy route to get to a final. You always have to play some tough teams. And again, one thing that Poch really instilled in us is that if we play to the best of our abilities, that no team can beat us. And I think we all firmly believe that. And so regardless of who we were going to get, we were excited.
All right. Next question, Doug, online.
Thanks, Cynthia. Thanks for doing this, guys. Really appreciate it. Tyler kind of touched on this before. Heading into Qatar, there was a lot of talk about how little World Cup experience the team had. DeAndre was the only guy that played in one. So for Tim, for you, how much do you think it'll help now that a lot of guys have that experience? And Chris, this will be your first experience. I mean, how excited are you and the guys that haven't been there before to have this opportunity to play in the biggest event ever staged?
Yeah, me personally, I'm very excited. I narrowly missed out on the last one. And I think in the 4 years that's been building up since then, I've tried to put myself in every potential spot so that I can be in contention for this one. And so, again, it's a childhood dream of mine, but also now that it's so close, I want to make sure that I continue to stay on that path so that when it's time for the World Cup, that I'm one of the first guys on the team sheet. And, I'm going to go out there and give 100%. And, regardless of if it's my first or not, I think a lot of these games we've had, have gotten me ready for this. Not just with country, but with clubs. So, and I'm gonna go in there and lean on my partner right there, who has got a few years under his belt, and hopefully he can teach me a few things.
I'll preface this answer by saying that, and I've echoed this a lot, that none of us are there still to this point. None of us are guaranteed a spot at this World Cup. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest message, is that we have to continue to earn that opportunity and earn that, earn that call up. And yeah, it's before, I obviously wasn't in a part of the buildup into 2022 in Qatar, but I think it was almost a good thing, a positive, that guys didn't know what to expect. There was not a whole lot of experience, and we all went into that fully not knowing what we could see, what we could face, how the cadence of games would go, and the different time, the times being so late, the games being so late. So none of us knew, and I think that was a like I said, a positive thing. I don't think anybody should or did take that as a negative. And now you can then, with this World Cup, take that experience and say, okay, we kind of know how things work. We know what it takes. We know that it's going to take even more than in Qatar, and we also know the kind of the nature of everything that comes with being a part of this buildup and potentially being a part of a World Cup team. You have, other obligations outside of just the playing, but when it comes down to it, the playing, the focus, the intensity, the trainings, the togetherness, like that is what we have to focus on. And I think that's going to continue to be the message going into this one. But I will say, make sure that you take a breath, you take a step back, and really enjoy being a part of it, because it is something special. It is something unique, and it's even more special being able to host it. Because I just jumped on it at the end. Like Christian said, I'll change it from a once in a lifetime to a once in a career opportunity to play a World Cup at home, in front of family, in front of friends, in front of the country that you're representing.
Thanks, guys.
Question right here in the front.
Thank you. Donald Wine, Stars and Stripes FC. It would be great if both of you could answer this question, Tim and Chris. Tim, you just mentioned the fact that no spot is guaranteed on here. So what's the next step? And for both of you, since you have different paths, Tim being season, Chris being in season right now.
I mean, mine is I've already started my off-season program. Took 10 days off after November camp, and I'm right back to it. I saw that Diego said that this is the biggest off season of his career, and I would echo that sentiment. This is I've been playing for 16 years. I'm going into my 17th, and my 17th off season is the biggest of my career, without a doubt. And you have to still be able to push yourself to go out and work out and do the things and make sure that you're flying and ready to go and ready to play 90 minutes as soon as preseason starts. And I think that's the ultimate goal for myself. Even being an old guy who everyone says, oh, you need to take rest. Listen, I played 45 games this year, between club and country. I can rest when I retire, and right now is not the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in season, so nothing's really changing for me. It's just making sure that whenever I have my off days, making sure that I'm really taking them off. And whenever I have time for recovery, I'm really doing that. But playing wise, it's just doing the things that got me to the national team at the first place. It's not doing anything special, not trying to dribble the whole team. No, that's not why Poch has me there. It's just making sure that I continue to stay solid, and again, do the things that got me there. And then whenever I am back in camp, just making sure that I continue to not just be a good person on the field, but also be a good person off of it, and be this leader in this kind of group that I think that everybody looks to for guidance and guidance and for help and advice.
Go to Pardeep on the Zoom. Having trouble hearing you, Pardeep.
Sorry, I thought I hit unmute and I guess I didn't. Can you hear me now? Okay, great.
Yes.
Just I know you don't have the third team in the group yet, but it feels like if just looking at it, it could be a possibility where you've sort of mapped out the last 6 months of the calendar with this team, with that Turkey game and then the Australia game and the Paraguay game. I know both of you didn't play in all of those games, but if if that ends up being the path, what sort of sticks out to you about the progression of the group in the last 6 months? Because it feels like it's been a very important 6 months for all of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the friendly against Turkey before Gold Cup, I think you saw a lot of fresh faces, but also a lot of inexperience, but also a lot of hunger. I think we still went toe to toe with one of the best teams in Europe, and got unlucky with 2 goals, but definitely goals that we could avoid. And I think it gave us a lot of confidence going into the Gold Cup, and then after that, playing teams like Australia, who are one of the top teams in their division. Again, went toe to toe and beat them, and then Paraguay, you saw the same thing. So I think it just shows that from the summer, from friendlies, that you can still improve. But also, with new faces being added in, with new systems, with new play styles, things like that, it shows that that we are very versatile, and that we're also a very tough team to play, regardless of who steps on the pitch.
Good answer.
We'll go with Paul online.
Thank you guys so much. Guys, I know, no opponent is worth overlooking in a World Cup. So much can happen there. But Mauricio's also talked about being realistic and doing the impossible. And when you look at this group and this pathway, it feels like the impossible is maybe a little bit more possible. From a fan's perspective, it feels like it's time to get excited about what this team could potentially do. I wonder if you guys feel that belief, if you guys feel that sense of, look, this thing is setting up for us if we perform well and we do our best to make that type of run that the fans have hoped for so long. Knowing again that you can't overlook anyone, but it does seem to be setting up well for you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it does set up well, but at the same time, we know that just because it sets up well on paper, it doesn't mean that it's going to go well because we think it should. And I know, our listen, we all want to win a World Cup. We all want to. You don't play a tournament just to be there. And so, we've had conversations. Chris and I have had conversations about, yeah, we want to win it. I think people can laugh and say whatever they want, but it's exciting. We're all excited. It's a World Cup. If you can't get excited for a World Cup, no matter who you're playing, then there's problems. So it does set up nicely, but again, we have to focus on ourselves. We know that like I said before, the minimum of what it will take to beat these teams, and you can't play a tournament by doing the minimum. You can't. You have to go more. You have to go above and beyond what we've done up to this point. And I think that's the kind of almost pitfall that you can run into. Okay, yes, we've played all 3 of these teams in the last 6 months, but that can be a little bit of a false kind of sense of security. And so we need to make sure that we're preventing that kind of security and safety feeling from setting in. And we have enough guys with enough experience that know how to keep pushing each other and keep pushing the team in the right direction, knowing what we could possibly do. But it's down to us and our work and our intensity and our focus.
Sweet. Time for one more question. So Jeff online.
Thanks, guys. Mauricio talked about how it's so important for the team to improve over the next 6 months and really make the most of that time. What parts of the team's game do you sense need to improve the most? Is it in attack? Is it in defense? Are there some wrinkles in each that you want to see get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think no team is perfect, of course. So I think in every aspect of the game we could probably be better. But again, it is a process. I mean, the last few camps we played a different formation than we have for the last cycle. So we're still learning, and there's a reason why they're top coaches is because they have a lot to teach. So if you can take 1% from every training, every game, then you'll get there. But also, these games are going to help us improve. Especially the March games are going to help us improve. But it's kind of the standards that we set for each other in training. That's really where you really make the improvements. And again, I think that's something that's really changed over probably the last 6 months, if I'm being honest with you. I think that, of course, there's belief on the field on game day, but I think it starts in training, and it starts with, sometimes you have to get into your teammate, but it's because, you want the best for not just him, but for the guys around you. And I think when you're playing for, I guess, a greater calling, when you're playing for more than just the name on the back, when you're playing for your whole country, I think it's easy to take down the chin and to try to improve from it. So, I think in every aspect of the game we can improve, but I wouldn't say I'm worried at all. I think that we definitely have enough time and we have enough quality to definitely do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say very, very similar. I don't think you look at one aspect and say, oh, we need to improve this area. I think it's just a general, right? We need to continue to raise the standards. We need to continue to push each other. We need to continue to make sure training is at the highest level that we can possibly make it, because when you do that, you go into games feeling confident. You feel like you've done all the prep work. You've put in the hard yards in order to get the best possible outcome. And I think it's in those areas that when he says, "Oh, the team can improve," it's the focus, it's the intensity, it's the aggressiveness, it's all of these things that we can continue to raise raise the level of, and that's where the improvement is going to come, because as he says all the time, we're all good players. We all know, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, and their job is to get the best out of all of us, and our jobs are to get the best out of each other as well. So I think if we continue to do that, then we'll continue to be on the right path, and going into the World Cup on a good run, and feeling good, having a lot of excitement, and feeling positive about where we are as a team.